Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the most recent edition of the Bearded Tyke. I'm joined again today by Ant. Thanks for jumping on, pal.
No problem. Afternoon, mate. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. A lot better
Good.
after a nice win against Peterborough on Tuesday night, mate.
Exactly. Yeah,
Be
makes everything
be it a
feel
bit of
better.
a yeah, it just makes everything go away, doesn't it? I'm only kidding.
Kind of.
I'm only kidding. We've still got problems in behind the scenes, but it were really good to see us get 3 points, and I think it's probably fair to say I've seen us play better this season and not get a result, either a draw or a loss. I've seen us play better, but when you're coming away with 3 points, it doesn't really. I suppose it kind of does matter, but it doesn't really matter. Not in our case, because it really did. It were a massive 3 points, not just because we're playing Peterborough. We're a good side in it. Peterborough been on a massive resurgence under Luke Williams, and I think they've done excellent from where they were. It's been a complete turnaround from when those guys were. But for me, it were more that it gets us well away from the relegation zone. It's 8 points clear of it now with all those games in hand. So, touch wood. I think that's
Yeah.
probably us safe. I would suggest. I'm not going to get too giddy, but I would suggest that we're safe. And even now, there's just a slither. I'm not talking there's a chance. I'm saying there's a little bit of light, a possibility of making a push. Listen. I'm not going daft. I'm not getting crap. I'm really not getting ahead of myself. We beat Huddersfield on Saturday, and that's a if. That's a big if. I want to say because Huddersfield have got a good home form. Even though they've lost the last 2-1-0 and not had a shot on target, they've got a very good home form, which we'll touch on when we do the preview for Huddersfield. But
Yeah.
we'll be 5 points behind them then, with 4 games in hand. My problem is just I think what we all know is squad depth. But anyway, yeah, fantastic, mate. So
We'll talk
line
about
up.
that in a minute.
I were really pleased with the lineup, I have to say, and I know that you're going to be pleased with the lineup because Georgie Jennett were playing at left back. So what's your thoughts, Paul?
Extremely happy. Yeah. In last video we spoke about how Connor were going away from what we're working previously, and it were tinkering a bit too
Yeah,
much. And if you notice on Tuesday it was square pegs, square holes for a change. Everybody in the right position.
yeah,
Brilliant stuff. Thank God
yeah,
for that. As soon as I saw that team sheet, and on the last video, I said if he plays 4-3-3, everybody in the right position will sneak a 2-1 win. And I was absolutely right.
yeah,
Happy to see Georgie in at left back, obviously. He's the best natural left back we've got. He's better than Better going backwards. Obviously, he's struggling for fitness, can only give you a short amount of time. And there are times when he looked rusty, but he's gonna look rusty. But it's great to have him back. I was happy to
yeah.
see O'Connell back in, obviously, who must play as much as possible because he's the calming influence in that back line. I was a little surprised to see Shepherd. I thought he might have dipped him out for this one and then brought him back Saturday, but no, he stuck with him. And, in his defence, he was okay. I don't think he was
Yeah,
brilliant, but he wasn't like catastrophe standards like he has been in previous weeks.
yeah,
So that was okay. And then O'Keefe was good at right back again, as he tends to be. He's such a revelation since he's come back, Corey O'Keefe. His energies,
yeah.
he gets stuck in, he's up, down. I thought he maybe left himself a little bit exposed a couple of times by losing possession, but overall, I think massive bonus
I
to
thought
get
you were
him.
excellent. I thought you were excellent. Yeah,
Yeah. He drives you forward, he gets you up the pitch, and working with Banks. I mean, as we'll talk, Banks in midfield, I didn't think had the greatest game, but it still was effective.
yeah,
Connell was great in midfield. The Kelly and Phillips could do their own thing in their perfect roles. This is their perfect roles. Kelly
yeah,
driving from the left, Phillips spraying passes right to left to Cleary, just being in the attacking third. Brilliant. That's what we want. That's what we want. There's good players in the right positions. Cleary was good again. Good finish. We'll talk about the goals in a second. And then
yeah,
the most impressive thing for me was he had the balls to just go with one striker and not play them both.
yeah,
Because what that enabled was later in the game, you could take Didsey off and you'd have somebody else pressing and making things difficult. And Bradshaw did that. It wasn't the perfect performance by far. Like you say, I've seen us play a lot better than that and lose this season. However, it did have a lot more structure than what we are used to seeing, especially the other day when
yeah.
we had a flat back four, flat midfield, two up front. We were wide open. And although Peterborough did have a lot of half chances, things in the first half, not so much in the second, I thought overall, I felt as a fan a lot more comfortable watching that performance. So I was very happy with the lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, mate. I thought it looked a really strong lineup. I'm really pleased to see Georgie back. I'm like yourself, mate. I really rate Georgie. I think he had an awful injury. Just as he were
Mm.
getting some really good form last season. He got that. Was it Lincoln? It was Lincoln, wasn't it, where he got injured trying to stop that shot when they
Yeah,
scored, wasn't it? I think one of the two.
yeah, he
He
turned his
tried to.
ankle bad, didn't he? And then
Yeah,
Achilles, weren't it?
it was yeah, his Achilles tendon, mate, and well, it's an awful injury, and it just takes so long to come back from. So pleased to see him back. Like you said, I think maybe just a little times he was rusty, but I thought he played really well. I thought he pinged a good couple of diagonal passes across to right wing to Banksy. I thought he did his trademark slide tackles a few times. What he does when he gets alongside him, wraps his foot round and wins the
Yeah.
ball back. So really pleased to see Georgie back. I hope he's in team again on Saturday. I hope he's fit enough after playing 60 minutes with coming back. But he's played 3 or 4 games at 21s now, so I'm hoping his match fitness is up there because I think that it did make us look a bit better with having a left back at left back and a right back at right back. So
Balanced,
so
mate. It's a lot more balanced.
yeah, it's just it's more balanced and just common sense. It's like
Yeah,
it's almost for us at this point in season. It sounds crazy because it almost sounds revolutionary that we're playing a left back at left back. But anyway, there you go.
that's where we are.
We move on. The other thing we're like Shep. I thought, yeah, I mean, he didn't do well on goal. He got turned inside out on goal. You know what I mean? There's nobody
Yeah,
put a foot in, and the lads made a good thing. There was some stuff said online about Goodman, but he's at full stretch. What them
yeah,
shots, right? As a kid, and I'm an ex-keeper, them shots when they're on floor like that, and especially when they come at pace, the one hardest to get down because you've got to get yourself right down there, and you've got to sort of like skirt yourself along the floor so you don't leave like a bridge in case it goes under your body. So you've got to like skirt, almost like skid yourself along the floor and stretch right out, which he does. He's got really good technique. He gets one hand on it. He's stretching it. It's his hand. He's then got to rely on his defence because if he doesn't make that save, it goes in anyway.
yeah.
So he's got to make the save, and then in those situations there, you're then reliant on your defence to help you out, which they didn't. So I don't know what Goodman's supposed to do there. He's made the save. He certainly can't. He's certainly at that stretch. He can't get the other hand over to get his and stop the ball dead. So he can only get one hand to it. So there's not an awful lot more he can do there really. I think it was more the fact that the defenders let that kid just turn, and then he turned Shep again, sent him for a chalk ice, and then he's managed to get the shot off, and then nobody's picked up or made the block.
Yeah.
So, well, so yeah, I mean that their goal was a bit of a frustration. But what we're pleased to see is that certainly in second half, we defended a lot better. The first half, if Peterborough had the shooting boots on, which they didn't, we could have been another 2 or 3 goals down in first half. They had that one where it zipped across and he sort of scuffed it with his foot on it and it's gone really wide, but it was clear and it was a really good move from him. And then
Yeah.
again when we just scored and they went down right and they put a ball in and Goodman hesitated slightly. But then he makes the save, so it's fair enough, you know what I mean? He did hesitate a little bit to go and take it, but he blocks it and makes a save anyway. And then they had one where they had a one-on-one, but I think it was still 0-0 at that time, where they had the looping ball over the top and they all thought it were offside. He's one-on-one, and to be fair, again, I'm praising Goodman. He made some good saves. He came out, he spread himself and made a good save. So, but other than, we could have easily been 2 or 3 more down at half time. So I think Connor's got in the lugos at half time, and then we've come out for the second half and sort of got the second goal and sort of shut it out and reduced them to taking pot shots from quite far out. But going to the goals then, Ant,
Yeah.
we'll come to the goals. What we view on the certainly, but I thought both of them were excellent to be fair. But I thought Luke Connell's were a blinding goal.
Well, I mean, from where I sit, which is left at Ponty, fairly high up. I mean, it looks a good strike. When you watch it back, it's an unbelievable strike. The way he wraps his foot round that.
Yeah,
I mean, there's 4 bodies round him, and he's managed to find that pocket of space. It's a really, really good finish. And like I've been critical of Luca. I think he's been a lot better since he got dropped after the window shut, and then he's come back. I think he's been pretty good. That is a really difficult finish. He's put a lot of power on it, a lot of whip. Great goal. I mean, you don't often see him driving like that, and normally he doesn't have a lot of confidence to shoot. But he should do it more often if he can do that. I mean, he got one at Bolton, but if he got a deflection, but if you don't shoot, you don't score, do you? And he should do it more. He's got the technical ability to get the shots off.
Yeah.
Big time. I thought it was a great goal.
Yeah, me too, mate. I've seen it from behind the goal. Seen it from one of the Peterborough vlogs. Seen it from
Yeah.
behind the goal. It's excellent. It really does. He whips it in because he takes it, but it comes back from Banks, who cuts it into Corley. Corley puts the ball into Luca in a difficult position, and he sort of runs in, and then he turns back out, and there's 3 or 4, and he's managed to turn it onto his left foot, and he's disguised it round one of the defenders, and he's whipped it round. He whips it right, and there's no chance for a keeper. It's a great shot. Whips it into, and it bends into, things to bottom corner. So he's got no chance,
No.
the keeper. So I thought excellent finish, and then
It's come
coming
out
on
of
to
the it came out of the DKD playbook, really, didn't it? That kind of finish. It was very
yeah, it really
DKD
did.
like. So yeah, it's a great finish. And
Yeah,
then the second one's just same, Cleary.
yeah,
I mean, you can say sometimes his composure's not brilliant when it comes to shooting, anyway. And you certainly couldn't say that on Tuesday. That was a lovely finish. I mean, I saw
no,
Barnsley on tour's
yeah,
video, and they're in the top of the East Stand, and it's just
yeah, seen it.
beautiful. He's getting him eyes. He's
Yeah,
up and he's up in the open. His keeper's just watched it. Beautiful goal from a quality player.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's gone that right. I think when Corey O'Keefe has gone right down and put the ball in.
Again,
And then
O'Keefe again.
it's not a Ricky. O'Keefe again. He's put the ball in, and it's come across. Did just try to get to it, but he seemed to be blocked off. The ball's gone through to clear him, quite a tight angle, and he's just stroked it in. I think keeper's maybe left him a gap, but it like the post is stamped there in that top bit, and he's really really composed finish, because he's not lashed at it. He's not tried to put his laces through it. There are occasions where you need to put your laces through it, but he's not. He's caressed it side foot into that gap and into far top corner. It's a lovely finish. And then from there, I thought we looked pretty all right from there, mate. We looked, certainly didn't. Peterborough didn't look like they were going to score. They
No.
sat there. They were reduced to. They were reduced to pot shots, and then they got a couple on target that was straight down Goodman's throat. A well done to ball. The one right at the very end, where they hit it quite well, actually, and I thought it had ricocheted up off his chest, but
Yeah,
he had good hands on it there, and he's held onto it well.
yeah.
So overall, mate, like I say, it weren't the perfect performance. It was certainly weren't one for the neutrals, but I thought there were lots of passages of play in there that were pretty decent. I thought the first 15 minutes, as seemingly as always, we seemed to start really well and play some nice football. But what was good is we kept it. We kept, once we got the goals and we got back from 1-0 down to then 2-1 up. We then saw the game out, which we've not done for quite a long time, to be fair. So
Yeah.
it was pleasing to see. Sometimes you have to play ugly, don't you, to get through it?
This is it, and I think the bench helped. This I think Connor made some very good substitutions this week, which we've been critical for before. But
Yeah,
like having a Bland to come on late, which was good. Having a Bradshaw to come on was good.
yeah,
Even when you're struggling, and then you can bring MDG on just to shore things up. I just thought his changes really helped as well. Another thing I really liked as
yeah,
well, there were a bit of needle in our team this week. When Phillips got going on right hand side, when he got stuck in, and there's a bit of pushing and shoving, and we've not seen much aggression or needle from our side. The nasty
yeah,
side, and we felt like it felt like we were a lot more determined generally, and I think that just kind of epitomised it. More of the same, please, especially in a local derby on Saturday, because we're going to need
yeah,
all that aggression, controlled aggression, to get a result there. But yeah, like I said, and just want to mention on the Goodman thing, is he the new scapegoat? Um, I don't see what he's doing wrong. I thought his handling was really good. There were some shots fizzing in
yeah,
on Tuesday. His handling were great. He didn't let anything spill. Okay, he palmed that one out, but like you said, the transition before it and the shot before it, he's got to do something with it. What do you want him to do? Hold
He's
it?
a full stretch. He's a full stretch, Ant.
You can't do
He's
it about
stretching
it.
out with one that. He can't stop the ball dead with one hand there with that pace on ball. I tell you something. Unless you've played in goal, right, where some of them shots where they don't look like lots of power on, they hit it hard. They hit it with some venom. I'm telling you, when it don't look that hard, I tell you, when it wraps your hands, it's an eye opener. Just how hard that ball, how hard them lads can hit them balls. And
Yeah.
and listen, he's made a good save. So that it's not ideal, but if he doesn't save it, it goes in. And so that it's one of them. Yeah, like you say, I think Goodman has made a few mistakes, but I think in last few games has been all right. I don't think he was at fault for any of the goals against
No,
Wimbledon.
no, me
So
neither.
I
And
don't
I
think there
mean,
was anything.
I were critical of Cooper, and people might say watching this, well, you slagged him off. Well, it was just over a period of months with Cooper. We've had we've had Goodman for like what 5, 6 games now. So I just think it's a little early to go. especially when he's not particularly doing a lot wrong. Just get off his back, let him play his game. He's a different keeper. He's a lot more
Yeah,
relaxed. He claims corners as well. I thought he did that a little bit
yeah.
better this week. Um, we just need to let him just get off his back a little bit because there's no need for it. It's just
Yeah.
another scapegoat, really, isn't it?
It's not helping. It didn't help, does it? It didn't help.
No, it's deconstructive, and there's just no point. He's going to be his number one for the rest of the season, so he's not doing it particularly wrong. So leave him alone. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
he's not done it glaringly wrong yet, has he?
No, he had a couple. I think that one against last time we were at home again, was it Northampton where he sort of palmed. I think that was the biggest mistake he's made, where it went to he
Yeah,
sort of like he palmed it straight back into the path of but he weren't near post, and he sort of like just half bent down.
yeah,
But I mean, I thought he handled the ball really well on Tuesday night. So yeah, so
yeah,
look, listen, 3 points, really important 3 points. It gets us up to mid-table,
yeah.
with plenty of games in hand. So I think it puts us in a better position away from the relegation zone. I think there's lots of sides under us that are struggling with quite a few less points, that have played quite a few more games. So I think it puts us I think that pulls us away from a relegation battle. But
Yeah.
and a slight, like I say, slight slither, little bit of hope. And what it is for me, we'll get on to the Huddersfield game in a minute, because I know we were going to talk about the attendance in a moment,
Yeah.
before we get to the Huddersfield game. But it feels like there's something on the game on Saturday. We're
Yeah.
not just turning up and seeing what happens, which is what it's felt like for the last two games. Just turn up and sort of try and enjoy the game, and just check it on its own merit for that particular game. But the Huddersfield game's got something on it, because if we win it, we're right back in that mix. We are right back in that mix. I'm not saying we're going to do it, but we're right back in the mix.
I would agree with
So
that.
anyway,
It's dangling a big carrot in front of us, isn't it? It's just a shame it's such a
it
difficult
is.
game
It is.
because it's not a stadium that
So
we like,
it's
is
really
it?
difficult. No,
It's
no, mate.
uh,
I don't think I've ever seen Barnsley beat Huddersfield at
is it like
Huddersfield.
last time we did it in lockdown when DK scored, I think, and obviously there were no fans.
Yeah, and then there were the semi-final when we beat him in 2006, and we beat him 3-1 to win
Well, that's
3-2
going
on
back 20
aggregates.
years now, Ryan. Come on.
Christ, is it that long? Jesus, it is, isn't it? God, bloody
Yeah.
hell. Honestly, I'm showing my age.
So
Showing
yeah,
my age now.
there is a
I were
big
nearly
carrot.
30 then as well.
Yeah, but
But
yeah,
I'd
there's a big
been
carrot
28.
dangling, isn't there?
Yeah. But before we get on to Huddersfield game then, mate, the attendance on Tuesday night,
Yeah.
a real eye-opener, I have to say. Even though I knew it were going to be low, it was sort of the perfect storm between the obvious, which is fans have had enough, and understandably so. I've got no problem with fans not wanting to go. That's their choice. It's perfectly understandable, and perfectly, they've absolutely got the right to not want to turn up. So there's that element. But Tuesday nights have never been great at Oakwell, really. Not unless it's like a Wednesday or something like that we're playing a Chef Wednesday or something,
No.
or a big game. But usually Tuesday nights is not the best anyway. There's a kid that sits, another kid he's called Ryan as well, that sits in front of me, and he works nights, so Tuesday nights are just a no-go for him. The lad that sits right behind me, he has to go to work at 12 o'clock, so he's like, am I going to come and rush to do this and then have to rush to get home to go and do a full shift after I've been here? You're like, not really. So I understand it. But the amount of empty seats was an eye opener. And then obviously it's half term, people are doing stuff. It was cold. We've had the Wimbledon result on the weekend. I think there are a lot of elements to kind of the perfect storm. But wow, it were empty, mate.
Yeah, it's a terrible visual, isn't it? I mean, we were just talking before we came on, weren't we, about our perspective seams at Pontian, because it looks like there's a few people there, and then I
Yeah,
got a picture from Marcus from Barnsley on Barnsley polls, and he showed
yeah,
me what the Pontian looked like, and I was like, wow, that's a shocking
yeah.
visual. And I've seen a couple of Peterborough vlogs as well since we played them, and they were commenting like, oh, it's just not like Barnsley, is it? There's a lot of things going off
No,
since the window's shut. I mean, obviously, the protesting online and people are definitely not going. There was a full row of lads behind me who didn't come Tuesday that usually do come. Um,
yeah.
it's a combination of things. I just wonder if it was Valentine's Day, obviously, last Saturday as well. And then obviously it was freezing Tuesday. I mean, we can't deny that it weren't. I
Yeah,
really
cold.
feel sorry
Yeah,
for lads who got off pitch because okay, it's defensively a poor team, but it is an exciting team full of really talented lads who probably deserve
yeah.
to have more full of stadiums like that to play in front of. Um, but the owners have brought it on themselves, and like I said, there's other factors as well. But I'd be interested to see
Other
how
factors.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how full it is if we do get a result Saturday, and then one at Orient, who are struggling the following Saturday in the next home game against is it Wickham? So
Wickham,
it,
yeah. No, is it Wickham on Tuesday night? It's
I think
Wickham on
it's
Tuesday night
Wickham.
after Orient game, innit?
Yeah, so and I'd be interested to see if it goes up for that one. But
Be
there's a lot of
interesting.
work to be done here to get fans back into this stadium big time, and I'm not sure how they're going to do it at this moment.
I'm
It's
not sure. I'm not sure.
it's
I'm
tough.
almost not sure it's not retrievable, mate. With this
It's
board, I just don't think it is. I think fans have genuinely had enough. But let's see what happens. It's something, it's so pointless worrying about it because I can't control it. But like you said, it looked a little
no,
bit. It didn't look full at all by any stretch of imagination. But it looked when I was looking from the pond because again I sit quite far back, row BB, and I sit quite far back. There's about
yeah,
five or six rows behind me
yeah,
to back, and it didn't look too bad. But then I didn't. You can't see the big gaps the way they were like nobody sat. And I watched Taylor's video of Barnsley on tour, and you could see the pony, and it was like, whoa, wow, that looks
it's
like a pre-season game. So fans are mate. They're voting with their feet, mate. And like I say, it's totally understandable. Totally
yeah,
understandable. And
definitely.
I'm not sure how they. I'm not sure how they can fix it. If I'm being honest, I'm not sure how they fix it. Hopefully, like you said, hopefully a few good results will bring some fans back. But I think there's a lot. Whatever the results are not going to come back this season, or they're not going to come back while these owners are in. So we'll
Probably
have to
right.
see. We'll have to see what happens with it, pal. The
Yeah,
other thing that we talked about, and just off air before we come on, I think it's an interesting point that you've got is, are we missing DKD? That's the question that you asked. So
yeah.
I'm going to put it to you then. Are we missing DKD?
Well, from a goals per game output, no. We certainly look a threat going forward. It's nice to have an actual nine instead of a false nine, who's occupying centre backs as opposed to in and out, making runs and stuff like that. Obviously, we're going to miss a player like that's talent. I mean, his finishing ability
Of
was
course, yeah.
second to none, really. And from a squad depth point of view, it would have been nice to have him, like as well as the other players that we have
Yeah,
now. But at the moment in time, no, because I like to see Didzy as a nine. I think
yeah,
Bradshaw's all right as a nine, and I don't want to have a false nine anymore. It makes Cleary and Banks look better to have somebody proper to aim at. I mean, how many tap-ins have we scored recently? Like,
that's
we're
true.
there's Didzy scored a tap in last week. Bradshaw scored a tap in. Um, we just seem to have a little bit more coordination up front with a proper nine there. So obviously we're going to miss a player like DKD, and it's a shame that we haven't strengthened and had more options to bring on. But at this moment in time, it's not too bad. What's your thoughts, Ryan?
Yeah, yeah. Well, like you say, from a goal scored perspective, I mean, it's only been an handful of games, like 4 or 5 games. No, we haven't, because we scored 2 or 3 in every game that he's not played in.
Mm,
Uh, so, but do we miss Davis? I thought he was a wonderful player, such a talented lad. And
mm,
it'd been interesting to see how far that formation with him and Didzy, playing Didzy as a nine and him playing off him as second striker, more like that sort of type, like he did against Stevenage. It'd been interesting to see how that progressed, because we looked wonderful in that game, and he scored 2 really good goals. So it'd been really interesting to see how that progressed throughout
mm,
the season. So for me, of course, we're missing him. Just him as his talent and his play and what he offered to the game, and his character, and what he did, because he gave everything for the shirt when he wore it. But what I will say, yeah. So my answer is yes. Of course, we're missing him. It would have been great to have him and Didzy and Bradshaw, because I think we could have really done a lot more damage. But we're still scoring goals, mate. It's not stopped us scoring goals, is what I'm saying. Like, it's still quite early doors, but that's positive, because I thought, as soon as he went, I thought they're going to dry up. But we've
yeah, I
scored two
thought.
or three in every single game we've played since he went. So
No,
there is that. But then it's also the lack of depth, which we could really have done with, if we get an opportunity. Like, for example, if we beat Huddersfield on Saturday, and then we've got a slither of a chance to get into to maybe make a playoff push late on.
yeah,
So I think that segues us nicely into the Huddersfield game, then, mate. So
yeah.
Huddersfield away Saturday. Not a happy hunting ground. What's it called? I don't even know what it's called now these days. I know it's changed with
Uh,
John Smith. It's called.
I can't remember.
It's been
Honestly, I
awful.
don't know what it's called these days.
Well, I
No
remember it
idea.
was called when it first opened. It was called the McAlpine because I actually did my apprenticeship in Huddersfield
Yeah.
when I left school. And I worked at the Ford garage. It's right in front of it, where on St Andrews Road, which is right on the right in front of the stadium. The stadium's right behind it, so I can remember them building it. And it being the McAlpine when it was first opened. Then I think it's been the Gal Farm and it's been the
Gal
John
Farm,
Smiths and that's Gal Farm. Yeah, we called it Gal Farm for a bit, wasn't it? What it called pharmaceutical? That was Gal Farm, wasn't it? Gal Farm Pharmaceuticals.
that would have been
Anyway,
Gal Farm, yeah.
we'll call it. I know it's changed since the owner bought it out. Yeah, he's actually bought it back, hasn't he? So the club actually own the stadium now.
Right.
We'll call it John Smith. Anyway, it's not
Call
an
it John
happy hunting
Smith,
ground
yeah.
for us. We'll call it John Smith. I like a partner, John Smith.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, it's not being a happy hunting ground for us. And Huddersfield are strong at home. They've played 14, I believe, at home. Let me have a quick look while we're talking. No, 16 at home. Apologies. So they played 16 at home. They've won 9, drawn 5, and lost 2. So the home form is strong. Even when they were struggling from a sort of football style standpoint under Lee Grant, they were still getting results. So they were still picking up results at home. So it'll be a really tough test. I think away they have struggled. They've lost the last 2 games 1-0 without registering a shot on target. So that's good for us. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So, what's your thoughts, mate? Would you make any changes to the starting 11 against Huddersfield?
Well, I listened to Connor's press conference this morning. It sounds like everybody's good to go. So no, and
Oh,
that would include Gent at left back.
yeah.
Apparently he's ready to play 2 games in a week, which is great. I mean, he did get taken off after an hour, didn't he? So they are looking after him.
Which could be a good call. That good shout.
What a good call. Yeah, of course it was. I mean, you don't want to put him into 90-minute mark and have him burn out again. There's no need for it. So if everybody's
No.
fresh, I would go with the same 11. I think their style of play now, Huddersfield, which is more possession based, will probably suit us. Because we like to counter. We're a good counter attacking team, and if we set up properly and we're disciplined, I think we can catch them out. I really do think we can catch them out. We need to stand up
Yeah.
tall physically. We need to, work as a unit, get pairs working together down the sides. But I mean, it's not a bad time to play them after 2 defeats like that, and the fans aren't particularly happy right now. If we can get an
No,
early goal,
they're not.
no. If we can get an early goal and get the atmosphere down, we've had a win, haven't we? And it's easy to be more optimistic when we've had a win. And obviously things still weren't
And get
perfect.
carried away.
Yeah, carried away. Well, you do, don't you?
Yeah.
Because, like you say, you look at if we win, it's 5 points behind them with 4 games in hand. I mean, that's crazy considering how poor we've been. That's a crazy thing to say, but it's true. And if we can get a win Saturday, and then we go to bottom, is it 3rd from bottom late or 8 next week? And after that, we've got 5 games out of 6 at home.
Yeah.
Just if the stars align and we can just get a win Saturday or even a draw just to keep us in it, brilliant. And I think we can go there with confidence. I really do think we can go there with confidence.
Yeah. I think there's always a team that make a late push, isn't there? There's always a team.
one.
A couple of seasons ago, it was Lincoln. They made a late push and just missed out because they should have knocked us out of the playoffs when we drew with Northampton in that last game, and then they didn't. I can't remember who. They didn't get a result. I think they drew the game, so they didn't take us. So we ended up taking 6. And I think last season it was Reading, and we had a part in that as well because we beat Reading at home. At Reading, we beat them 4-2 on that last game. See, I mean, I don't think it mattered because Leighton Orient won anyway, didn't they, that day? So they would have gone up. But there's always what I mean is there's always a team that seems to make a late push, and who knows? Could be us. Could be us this season. Might not be. We might get pumped 3-0 on Saturday, and it might. That's it. It's finished. But
well, if you remember, Ryan,
who knows?
If you remember in 15-16, that team was us. We were bottom at Christmas, and who was the captain that day? It was in that season. It was Conor Horahan. So if anybody knows how to bring this team up at the end of a season, and it's a marathon, not a sprint, we always say that. And as bad as we've been at the back, can we get any worse? I don't know. Touch wood. I'm touching also wood now. But I saw shoots. I saw shoots on Tuesday that made us look stronger structurally. And if we can get that right, we have got possibly the best attacking player in this league right now, which is Reyes Cleary. And Scott Banks in far
Yeah,
behind him. I know he were a bit quiet the other day, but he's a class player. 6 goals, 6
it really
goal
is.
involvements in 6 games for Scott Banks since he signed. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, it's exciting times if we can just stick together and get a result Saturday. If we lose Saturday, but you know, the negativity comes back in and we all start again, don't we? Posting the near half pictures. But as it stands, well, have you noticed it's quietened off a little bit? It's quietened off a bit,
A little bit, yeah. A
a
little
little
bit.
bit after the
A
win
little bit.
because wins
Yeah.
wins make people happy, don't they?
We're human beings, mate. We're human beings. That's what we are. Football fans are probably the most fickle people in the entire planet. You
yeah.
can absolutely hate them, and one win turns it around. You love them again. We're so fickle, and I don't mind it. It is what it is. That's what
I'm just as bad.
it's what we are as football fans.
You see, Twitter's a very reactive place. You can put things instantly without having much thought about it, and some people do that, and I do that sometimes.
Mm.
And I still believe that the owners should go, and I still believe that they're not the right people to run this club. But you know, when we get a result and we look a bit better, then it papers over a few cracks, doesn't it? But anyway,
Yeah,
let's just hope we can get that result Saturday. Even a draw would be good. Move on to Leighton
yeah,
Orient, and then just take this
yeah.
as far as it can go. Let's take this season as deep in as we possibly can. I think we
Well,
as
I
fans
think
deserve
not,
that.
I want to off, but no one expects anything of us this season now.
No.
I think we're safe. I have to say, I'm going to be confident and say that I think we're safe, and we can just have a go for it. You know, just go for it, and why not? You know, try and play with a bit of freedom. And like you say, on Saturday, if we don't win, just don't get beat. A draw's not a bad
Yeah.
result at Huddersfield. Draw's not a bad result at Huddersfield. We could do with the 3 points because we could really do with it because it really puts us back in the mix. But also, I don't think it's it's not a terrible result to go to Huddersfield and get a draw. That's all. They're a good side. And I think for me, I've got to say, I grew up actually. It was in a place which is a lot closer to Barnsley, but it still classes. The address was still Huddersfield. One of them. It was 6 mile off Barnsley and 12 mile off Huddersfield, but I had an Huddersfield postcode. So I've got a lot of friends. I've got a lot of friends that are Huddersfield fans.
Yeah.
And they're just, and you know, I've got like one of the coaches at our Russian football. He's Pete. He's a massive Huddersfield fan. He goes home and away. It's they're so frustrated with Huddersfield because looking at their squad and the personnel that they've got in it, they should be so much higher. Once they started signing those players in summer, I was like, these lads should walk the league, and for them to be miles off, and they are miles off the top two. If I were an Huddersfield fan, I'd be really, really frustrated because they've got some great players in that team. They've got some really good, talented players. But for whatever reason, you know, Lee Grant and Liam Manning just don't seem to be able to get them going. I don't know if it's the formation or whatever, but I guess we'll see Saturday, mate. I guess we'll see Saturday.
Well, I think what I just want to
Go on,
say
sorry.
is that there's a lot of teams underachieving in this league, and I think a lot of the reason for it is they're trying to play out front back all the time. They're not doing what they're good at. They're not perfecting what they should be good at. Like for example, Bolton play front back, and their results are patchy at best. You know, they had a little run. Now they've had a patchy spell again. They're not playing to the strengths. This league isn't about playing football. It's about being structured, winning battles, winning 50-50s, and just being physically stronger than your opponent. Why do you think Lincoln are up there? You know,
Exactly. I was going to say that, mate.
structure, fight, you know,
Lincoln are the
togetherness.
Lincoln are the blue. Sorry, mate. Go on. Sorry.
No, I've just finished. I was saying togetherness. You know what I mean? They are a team.
Yeah.
They are a team. They know what they're good at and they do it consistently. That's why a lot of big teams in this league, and I'll put us in that, are underperforming. That is why. You've got to find what you're good at and stick to it.
I think we're just trying to play too cute football, mate. Trying to be too clever. Lincoln are literally the blueprint on how to play football and do well in this league. Big lads, big strong lads, very structured. Everybody do the job. Don't try to be too fancy. You know, get a lead, hold on to a lead. They're absolutely mastered it, and I'm really pleased for them. I'm genuinely pleased for them because they are going to do it. You know, they are going to do it. They've got that We've got that 6 point gap on Bolton with that game in hand. There'd have to be some sort of catastrophic fail, and they don't seem to be. They won again 4-0. In fact, they just seem to be churning the results out. They're just absolutely in full cruise control mode at the moment, and they're flying towards the championship. Now, I'll be honest with you, mate, I'm really pleased for them, and I genuinely hope they do it. I really hope they do it.
Momentum's a massive thing in this league. Momentum, and that's
mate.
exactly what they are. They are a rolling ball that's just getting bigger and bigger. Great for them. I'm really pleased for them.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, but it's that kind of football. Just play that football. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to try and play Pep Guardiola football. There were players that are not Pep Guardiola standard. So, stop trying to reinvent the wheel and play basic, simple football, and it's remarkable how well you can do. But anyway, that said, mate, score prediction for Saturday. I don't think we'll get a clean sheet, if I'm being honest. I would love to see one. I just don't think we will. But I'm going to go for a Reds win. I'm going to go for another 2-1 Reds win. By yourself, Ant.
I think I agree. Getting an early goal, that's massive. If we can get an early goal, then I think we will. And if he's got to play this 4-3-3 again. Otherwise, if it's a 4-4-2 when Roberts is playing, then just put a line through it because we're not going to get a result. But if you play, I don't want to be awful, but that's my feelings. If he plays a 4-3-3, structured, it gets the best out of your best players in your team. And yes, I think we could get a 2-1 win there. Or a draw. I'd take a draw now, 2-2, 1-1, whatever. That's fine by me.
Yeah. Draw would be a good result. I'd be happy with draw. I would.
Yeah.
I'm saying 2-1 because I really want us. I really want us to win the game. But if I were betting, honestly, if I were betting, I'd probably bet on the draw. If I'm being honest, but I want to see us win. So I'm going to predict 2-1, but I think draw is probably the most likely outcome. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But
probably.
Everybody else, if you'd like to like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below how you thought the Peterborough game went. Any changes that you'd make to the Huddersfield away squad on Saturday, and let me know how you think they're going to get on. And thanks very much for joining me, pal.
No problem, mate. Anytime.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing a review show of the Huddersfield game on Sunday. So if you're going to the game, safe journey. Let's hope we come back with 3 points. So, but until that point, I'll see you after.